Hey there, Fletch from All Things Overlanding here. Today I'm super excited because we are talking about lights. And as you can see, I'm a big fan of lights. I have tons of different lights on this truck, and I'm going to show you how I have them all wired up, kind of my approach to why I set them up the way that I did, how they work, all that good stuff, why I went with the setup that I've got, and hopefully that'll be helpful for you. But in addition to that, I'm also teaming up with a bunch of my buddies from YouTube who have different setups so that they can kind of explain theirs, and all in one video, you'll get a ton of information about different lighting setups so that you can make the best decision for your vehicle and how you want to set it up. But again, if you want to learn more about all of our lighting setups, stay tuned. All right, so let's start up front at the bumper. As you can see here, I've got these PrimeLux 8-inch spotlights that are super bright. I've also got a 20-inch aux beam LED bar in the grill of the truck or in the bumper of the truck. And then I've got these Alpina 6 LED fog lights. So again, my setup is flood essentially with some spots that can be controlled independently. So these are all on one system, the 20-inch and the Alpinas. This is on another button, another system, and then we'll get to the roof lights and the ditch lights next. So then over on the sides, I've got these aux beam 2 LED floodlights. So these are great as ditch lights. They flood a ton of light over to the side of the vehicle. They're not super bright. They're a little bit less white and a little bit more yellow in color, which is perfectly fine. It gives me some contrast and helps me see again off to the sides of the truck. So if I'm running through Hoosier National Forest or driving through Wisconsin and there are a lot of deer and things like that, this helps me avoid, collisions with things that are coming from the side of the road. Up top is another aux beam single row LED light bar. That thing is, again, a good flood, not the brightest thing you've ever seen, not overpoweringly bright, but it does just flood the area with light. So my favorite thing, though, about this lighting setup is definitely the controller behind it. I am currently running everything through a RedArc Manager 30 and Red Vision system. I will show you more on that here in just a second, but the cool thing is we wired up basically a distribution block for all of our positives up front here. And then this 10x4 wire runs under the truck and goes into the total vehicle management system for the RedArc. So then all those wires again run underneath of the truck and then up into this TVMS, the total vehicle management system, which is, from RedArc. Then there's this Manager 30 above. This is the one that does all the magic of taking the power coming in from solar on top of the truck, coming in from the alternator when the truck is running, and it splits it between my auxiliary 100 watt hour lithium battery that I've got as a house battery and my AGM starter battery. It does all that stuff auto magically. It's got built-in fuses, so if you ever blow one, it's going to give you an alert actually on your phone or on your Red Vision so that you know that you blew it. But again, this controls everything, so I'll show you up front how that looks. All right, so this is the Red Vision system in here. You can see the display. I've got my fridge currently running, and then above that, that's actually my Wii Boost, so I can turn that on and off with the buttons. But then the cool thing is I can hit this one that's pointing at the ground, and that will turn on all of my lights in the bumper, so everything down on the bottom. When I hit this one, these are my big spots. So the one that looks like a big spotlight, that's my big spot. And then these are the roof lights. So I can control them just like with an S-Pod or an aux beam, multi-button system. I can control everything straight through this. There's also a phone app that you can use that does basically the same thing. So if I was up in the rooftop tent and wanted to turn on all my lights, I can do it from up there, which is amazing. It also gives you real time what your batteries are at, how much longer at that current burn rate they're gonna last. And then down here it shows you what's pumping in. So you'd be able to see if the solar was coming in. I'm in the shade right now, so I don't think I'm really pumping a whole lot, and kind of where it's going. So again, just a super cool way and super amazing high quality way to separate and wire all your lights for the long term. All right guys, so that was my lighting setup. I hope that was helpful for you. If you came here to check out my channel, I hope that helps you if you're a Frontier guy especially. Hopefully that gives you some good ideas. But again, this is universal. You can do this on any type of vehicle, and the content that I generally make is pretty universal. I want it to be helpful for as many people as possible. But next, let's dive into the next person's setup so that you can see theirs.
Hey there, I'm Will from Venture to Rome. On this channel, we go on epic adventures, we do rig modifications and installs and gear reviews and some creative stuff just to celebrate the overlanding lifestyle. But today, we're gonna talk about the lights on my rig. Let's go. So this is Finn, my 2013 Jeep Wrangler JKU Sahara that we have heavily modified. One of those modifications that we've done on this rig is the lights. Now, we took a slightly different approach on lights than maybe some other people because I didn't want to have a bunch of lights hanging off the rig. So we took a very minimalist approach. So the lights that we have on Finn are pretty basic. First, we upgraded the headlights because the JKU stock headlights are terrible. So we put in X-Bright headlights and X-Bright fog lights. And honestly, the fog lights were super impressive. The LED headlights were good too, but I was really impressed with the fog lights. So that really kind of improved how much we could see at night. Then we have just this one main off-road light, which is a 20-inch B-Force LED light from Weston. And the reason we went Weston is because this bumper is also Weston. And at the time, I was a little nervous that if I bought a different kind of light bar, it wouldn't fit into the bumper. Turns out that this single row light is massively bright and gives me plenty of light. It's a mix of flood and spot, so it focuses some of that light in the middle, but also floods out on the sides. So when we're driving at night, I really don't need anything else. I don't have any ditch lights. I don't have a light bar over my hood. I don't have any of that stuff. I just have this one B-Force light bar, my upgraded X-Bright headlights, and then a few other little lights that I'll show you right now. We did add a few more lights, but not really for me to see while driving. We added 4 rock lights, and these are basically useless for driving. Like, I don't actually get any additional light. What they're good for is at camp, it lights up a little bit. When we're driving in the dust or at dusk, I'll turn these on. So if I'm in a convoy, people can see me a little bit better. But other than that, they're not super useful, but they were also really inexpensive. I think this is like an Amazon special. I paid maybe 30 bucks for 4 or something like that. So maybe that's why I can't see them, because they're not very good. But I haven't really thought, man, I really wish those rock lights were brighter. So I'm just gonna keep them as is. And then back here, we did add some rear lights, and these are also Weston B-Force LEDs. Again, I wanted to make sure they fit because this is a Weston rear bumper. And these things are so bright. I don't use them very often. I've had them on at camp. They help a bit. They help when I'm backing up at night. That's probably where I use them the most because they really do light up a huge area behind the Jeep. But sometimes I forget to turn them off. And I've had many angry radio calls in a convoy telling me to turn my dang rear lights off because they're so bright. But I don't use these a ton, but they are useful at night when you're backing up. Now let me show you the light that I probably use the most. So back here, I installed a DIY LED light that runs along the rear window, and it is probably the most useful light that we have. So this light back here puts out a ton of great light at camp, right where I need it, which is in the back of the Jeep, because this is where we're always kind of getting stuff out of. I have it run to a power bank that I installed in the back of my Jeep. And so I have a remote control for it. I can turn it on from the fire ring as I walk over to get a whiskey at night and be able to see my pour. I can dim it so it's not too bright. And I probably use this more than any other light, and I love it. So that's my setup. And I really don't think you need to have a light on every nook and cranny of your rig in order to have a great experience off-roading at night. So thanks to Fletch for having me on his channel. Such an awesome channel. So much to learn there. If you want to come check out ours, Venture to Roam on YouTube, please do. We'd love to see you over there. Until next time, I'll see you later.
All right, so that was awesome. As you saw, their setup's a little bit different than mine, but still awesome and unique in its own way. So next, let's dive into the next person's.
Hi, my name's Grant, and our channel is 6 Overland. That's SIX Overland. And this is our 2016 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon that we take on family adventures while we're towing our Patriot Campers X1H. Now for the Commando JK, what we wanted to do is achieve a blacked out look. We really liked the look that this already had with the tan powder coated armor, and we wanted to complement that with some lighting that matched. So aesthetics were very important to us. We chose Rigid Industries because of their Midnight Edition series of lights.
In front under the bull bar, we have the SR Series Pro 10-inch spot with D Series Pro spots mounted above. For our main light bar, we're using the SR SRS Pro 50-inch, which is a single row of lights and gives the light bar a sleek, slim profile. For ditch lights, we're running D Series Pro diffused, which have a really cool look in my opinion, and all of these are the midnight editions. At the time we equipped the roof rack, Rigid hadn't yet released SRQ midnight editions, so we went with normal SRQ floods on the center to throw light forward and diffused on the outside mounts of the Defender rack. We use diffused on the rear as well, which helps us out a lot when we're setting up camp after dark. We also have a set of 8 rigid rock lights lining the underbelly. One thing we like about these lights are the lens cover options. We have smoked lens covers for the light bar to further the blacked out look, and on the SRQs as well. We chose diffused for our outbound lights because we're often looking for turnoffs and campsites in the dark, and didn't want a focused beam hitting other campers late at night, so the diffused lenses work well for that. And on the front bumper we have amber covers, which really help with eye fatigue when driving through the desert and dusty trails at night.
So would we build our next rig the same way? I don't know. I know that Rigid Industries would definitely be a top contender for our lighting selection though, because you definitely get what you pay for, and what you get with Rigid Industries is quality. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out our channel over at 6 Overland, that's XIX Overland, and back to you.
All right, so that was it. Thanks to everybody that participated in this video. I really appreciate their help, and I learned a lot, and I hope that you did too. I hope that this was a helpful video for you. As I mentioned earlier, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button, click the bell to be notified when new videos drop. I'd love to have you. I put out a couple videos every single week, overlanding and do-it-yourself/budget mods and gear reviews. So if you're into anything related to overlanding, this is the channel for you. Check out the links in the description below to check out everybody else's channel and everything described in this video. If you want to find products that you saw that you're interested in, there will be links to those down below as well to hopefully make it as helpful as possible for you. But post up in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think. And thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.